YouTube, it's Christo here. I have had minimal activity on YouTube recently, both my channels, not just my vinyl one. I've just been really busy and preoccupied with other things and just never have time to actually sit down and put a video together. So definitely wanted to make time today. It is a pretty big day for record collectors today, Black Friday. And most indie, perhaps the big record stores, I don't know, we don't really have many in my area, but most indie record stores do have the special record store day Black Friday releases, as well as discounts that can range anywhere from like 10% up to as high as I've seen 50%, which is pretty cool. That obviously varies from store to store, whatever, but quite luckily, Hamilton, Ontario, where I am, one of the bigger record stores downtown, had a 30% off all new vinyl, which is an amazing sale. They even had sales off of already discounted items and bigger sales for used items, etc., etc. So I went a little overboard, but I'll kind of get to that when I show my record. So I'm going to go through them. I'm going to show my actual record store releases last to kind of keep you in suspense. I did pick up some plastic sleeves. These are on sale as well, and I go through a lot. I'm probably going to go back and get some more later. I was just, kind of overwhelmed with everything and too much to carry, but I do literally keep all of my, I don't know, basically anything that's worth more than like $5 I keep in a plastic sleeve, other than some of my cheapies that I was given for free or cost like $1 or something. Pretty much everything's in one of these, so might go back later and get some more. So I'm just gonna pull these out at random. These are all new non-record store day albums. I picked these up for all 30% off, which is pretty cool. Something I had my eye on for a while, and I was going to grab a copy off of Amazon, and it was just one of those moments where you watch the album go down gradually over a couple weeks, and it like bottoms out at like $15, and then you're like, okay, I'm going to wait one more day and see what it goes to, and then I'll pick it up. And I went back the next day, and it shot up to actually more than double what it was. This is Sonic Youth's Bad Moon Rising. This is one of their earlier, closer to no wave sounds. Very different from their kind of 90s polished sound that they got much more famous for. But I never owned this on CD or anything back when I was in high school, so this was the first time I've owned this. I'm pretty excited to listen to it, and I am definitely into this kind of aesthetic more than their kind of poppier, more polished stuff from the 90s, so I really wanted to pick this up. Unfortunately, it wasn't as cheap as when it was at its cheapest on Amazon, but I'm never going to find it for that price again, especially, new. Mac DeMarco's 2, this is, I'd say, the only album of his that I really do enjoy. I would really like to discover Rock and Roll Nightclub, I think it's called, his first, I guess, technical release. I don't know it overly well, but this one I really like. Kind of after this, nothing really grabs me. This is a pretty good record. Never owned this. I don't know why. You can get it pretty cheap in Canada, like $20-ish, and got this for a little bit over that, but with the discount well under, so glad to have this. Save that one. Let's do this next. Another great 90s band, Pavement. Not one of my favorite Pavement albums, which is why it's taken me this long to pick up. I did own the kind of deluxe box set on CD back in the mid-2000s or so, I think close to when it came out. It's good. It is, as I recall, definitely more well-polished than like Crooked Rain, and Slanted and Enchanted. A little bit more closer to Brighten Corners, which is possibly my favorite Pavement album. I haven't listened to this honestly in so long, So looking forward to having to listen to this. Again, good price, and with the discount, pretty much unbeatable price. Method Man, Takal, the first one. I owned this on CD way back, early 2000s. Loved it, listened to it basically until it was just unlistenable. Like, it was just so scratched up. And looked at this a few times, but never actually pulled the trigger. I haven't really been bigly, like, hugely into rap since I've been back into records, but this is definitely one of my favorite, kind of 90s hip-hop records. I think it's 90s. Yeah, gotta be. Yeah, 1994, definitely very 90s. But definitely his best record, I would say. Picked up this. This is really cool. Wu-Tang Clan's C.R.E.A.M single. It's actually from another record store day. I don't know if it was an actual Black Friday or the April record store day. Either way, it is a pretty cool die cut 7-inch, so you can actually see the record is like the Wu-Tang logo, and the playing surface is a 7-inch in the middle. I'm not gonna open this. It only has 2 tracks, C.R.E.A.M and what's on the B side? The Mystery of Shadowboxing, which is actually a really good song. I think I actually prefer that to C.R.E.A.M, but they're both really great. So I'm not even going to open this because I already have both tracks on 36 chambers. And 2 more. I really went overboard, but like I kind of said to myself, I'm going to end up paying $7, $8 more for these if I wait longer, so grab them now. Okay, let's start with this. This is actually what I went for. This is Tangerine Dream's Electronic Meditation. I've been into Tangerine Dream a lot recently, and this is, I don't know, despite being pressed numerous times, it's not overly easy to find. It's not even expensive, but all the copies I was looking at online would have had to have been shipped from Europe, which is going to, cost me like 10 or 12 euro on top of the price. So I was really surprised to see this come out, because I've wanted this for a couple months now. And then the Black Friday sales were announced, and I was like, oh man, I don't know. I've not had much luck the last few record store day sales. And this was listed. I was like, oh cool, I'm going to give it a try. If I don't find it, or if it's like wickedly overpriced, which record store day sales can be, or record store day releases can be, I'll just bite the bullet and buy like an OG pressing. Found it was a little bit more than I wanted to spend, but like, literally just a few more dollars than I would kind of priced it in my head. So I did buy it. It was the last one, and of the 3 places I went to, only one of them had this, so I'm glad I got that. And this is a really nice surprise. Neil Young's Harvest Moon. A long history with me and Neil Young. I'm not really going to get too much into it, but I really didn't like him up until this album came out in probably around 94 as well. Let's see. I'm not going to look too long. 92, wow, even earlier than I thought. Okay, maybe so it was a couple years later after this came out. Probably 94, 95, I remember hearing Harvest Moon, and like, wow, that's actually really good. I really wasn't that into Neil Young until I heard this. Love that track. Never really owned the CD or anything. My dad was a big Neil Young fan, which is part of the reason I never liked him. But I always liked it, and then, in the last few years since I've been into records again, this is kind of a holy grail for the Neil Young fan. It had very limited release, officially. I think only a few pressings in the early 90s in like Europe and stuff. And a lot of people were really looking for this today. And the reason I wasn't really going out expecting this was because he had his Decades compilation released for the last record store day sale. And I think it was like $60 retail Canadian, which is just way, 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 way more than I would spend on any, like 2-disc. Decades might have been a 3-disc box set. But the thing with decades. It's pretty easily accessible on vinyl. You can pick it up at flea markets and at record conventions and stuff like that for like 15, 20, 25 bucks in excellent condition. So it's just like, forget this. So because this is so much more desirable, and it is a 2-disc set, I was expecting this to be, like $50, $60, $70 retail, but in fact it was less than half of that, or at least that's what I paid. So really happy to have this, very happy to have this, and I picked up some really cool records that I've had my eye on for quite a while. So I'd love to know what you picked up. Oh, I should mention I did actually want Mike Watt's Contemplating the Engine Room, first time it's ever been released on vinyl, but I did not find a copy, so I'm going to keep my eyes peeled, see if I can get a hold of one for a decent price. But as I was saying, I'd love to know if you picked up anything, any record store day releases for Black Friday this year, or if you found any good sales, and if you did, what did you pick up? Thanks so much for watching. I assure you I will have new content very, very soon. Gotten a lot of new stuff since I last saw you. So yeah, anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again soon.